Hey, everybody. This is Alicia Katz Pollock, and welcome to QuickBooks Online's mobile app called Get Out. And today we're going to take a look at all of the features of using QuickBooks Online on your phone or on your tablet. Now, you're going to hear me say iPhone and iPad, but that's mostly because we're an Apple house and an Apple company. We do Apple training as well. But that doesn't mean that it only works on iPads and iPhones. It also works just fine on Android devices and any other tablets that you have. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. So my name is Alicia Katz Pollock, and I am proud to announce that I am now a top 10 pro advisor from Insightful Accountant. The category that I won is Appologist, which means that I'm really good at integrating all different technologies with QBO. And what's actually kind of funny is that a lot of people misread it and call it apologist. And sometimes I feel like that's even more valid because let's spend a whole lot of time talking about how to use QuickBooks Online in creative ways, things that aren't obvious, or, if QuickBooks Online doesn't do something, how to work around that. I am a member of the Intuit Trainer Writer Network. And so if you do any trainings through Intuit, through qbtrainingevents.com or back on the road show, once we get up and running with that, I'm one of the national trainers. So I speak at QuickBooks Connect and Scaling New Heights, and I am an elite pro advisor. So welcome to classes on the Royalwise platform. I have live classes every month. I have a vast video training library on QuickBooks, Excel, business productivity software, and a whole Apple site as well. I also have a QuickBooks Online coaching program. So if you want any one-to-one help with your QuickBooks, I am more than happy to help. I have several books on Amazon. So if you go to Amazon and you search for my name, I have a book called Master QuickBooks Online from Setup to Tax Time. I have a specialty retail book about gas stations and convenience stores that even comes with a QuickBooks template. So you can just upload it and get up and running. And I'm also the author of textbooks from Questiva Consulting that are used in colleges and trade schools, but we're hoping to actually bring them to the mass market in 2022. So that's our goal. Now, that's enough about me. Let's get to why you are here. I do want to let you know that you can download the handouts from today, the whole slideshow, that when you log in to your portal at royalwise.com, you look on your enrolled tab. Although if you've taken the class today, we might move you to completed. So take a look on enrolled or completed for today's course, and then you can download a PDF of today's slides. On our agenda for today, we're going to take a look at the QBO app, and I'm actually going to do live demos using my iPad and my iPhone. So we're going to start by taking a look at the settings. We're going to take a look at the interface with today, cash flow, the menus. We're going to show you how to accept credit cards using the swiper, and I'm actually going to swipe a credit card live on the air. I'm going to show you how to create estimates and get signatures on them. We'll talk about submitting your expenses and mileage, like all the different really cool things that the QuickBooks Online app does that you don't get out of just using it through a browser. So it's pretty cool. Now, as we are working today, you are going to have questions. You are welcome to head over to the chat or to the Q&A pane in your Zoom. Go ahead and ask questions there, and I'll try and build them into the curriculum. Some of them I'll answer as we go. Some of them I might hold until the very end. And at the end, I'm going to also show you where you can find your questions after the fact, that today's class isn't just one and done. Royalwise, we have a whole training portal. Your experience lives on. The class is going to be recorded so that you can come back again and watch it later on. And there's even a questions forum, we call it the class discussion, where if you have questions, down the line from now, you can pop into that class discussion and ask them, and it bings and I get the message and I'll come in and answer your questions for you. All right. So the first thing that we want to do is talk about the interface and the overview of the app. So what we want to start by talking about are the settings. The way that I get up to the settings is by going up to the three little lines in the upper left-hand corner. And then that opens up the left navigation bar. Settings is down at the bottom. Now, again, I am doing this on an iPad so I can give you a bigger screen. If you're doing this on your phone, and you are welcome to pull it up, things will just be in one long column instead of in two columns down the side. Now, let me actually just back up a second and talk about the app in general. When you go to either the App Store or Google Play, you just search for QuickBooks and you find the QuickBooks Online app. And when you log into it, you use the same username and password that you would use logging in through Chrome or through your browser, and then it brings up your company. For those of you who are business owners, this means that you can pull up QuickBooks Online and have it in your hand and not have to lug your computer around with you. When you're a bookkeeper, you can actually switch between your clients' companies as well. So you have full access to be able to just switch from client to client to client. Now, when you log in, this is what it looks like. And so you have these across the top, you have these shortcuts. If you are on an iPhone, you only see the first 4, but if you slide, then you can see all of the shortcuts across the top. So that prevents you from having to use the navigation. Then you see the to-do list and the activity. And then in the upper left-hand corner, you see those 3 lines up there. When I tap on the 3 lines, it brings up the sidebar. And so we are going to go through everything that is on the sidebar, but I'm going to start down at the beginning because you do have to always dial in your settings so that you get your full experience. So I'm going to tap on settings down at the bottom, and now it goes into my settings. Most of the settings pull over from your desktop experience of your software. So like the company information, that all pulls over from the settings that you had in QuickBooks Online when you log in through the browser. There's nothing that I need to change here, so I'm just going to click cancel. Now, accepting payments is going to be incredibly important. You want to sign up for QuickBooks Payments. I have a whole separate course just about QuickBooks Payments. You want to take a look at that. But QuickBooks Payments is the integrated merchant services so that when you're using QuickBooks Online, your customers can press pay now on your invoices, or like in this class, you can be right in front of your customer and use your swiper in order to take your payments. So it's kind of a no-brainer. The card readers themselves are Bluetooth, and the one that I'm holding is the one that they've had for a couple of years, and there's a handheld Bluetooth one, but there's also a desktop model. It sits on your counter, and it also has tap to pay. You're kind of used to this in today's world. When you go into a store, you don't even have to take out your credit card anymore. You can just touch it with your phone, and that's part of it as well. And so the countertop version stays plugged in all the time, and then it just connects to your device through Bluetooth. You can order your readers right here. So you see where it says order reader, you can go in and put in your order for them. The next one down are the sales forms, and it does adopt your sales form from whatever you set up in QuickBooks Online, but you have a limited ability to make some changes to it in here. There's reminders. You can have your app send you up notifications if you want to or not. The mileage tracker, we're going to talk about mileage a little bit later on, but when I talk about it, this is where you come in and set it up. Sticking to the company section, actually, before I get into mileage, tips is really important. If you take tips in your industry, then you definitely want to come in here and turn on accept tips. I do recommend show tips before card is inserted, and I'm going to turn that on. That's because you want the person to be able to put up their tip when they are signing, so that you don't have to ask them, well, how much do you want to tip me? Which would be completely awkward. There's a toggle to either do it by percentage or by dollar amount, and you can set those percentages and those dollar amounts. And that's what this next section right down here. So where it says percentage tips, you can see tip option 1, 2, and 3. You can set your 15, 18, 22, or 20%. I actually do recommend, if you want people to tip 18% instead of 15%, if you change your rates up a little bit so that you have 15%, 20%, and 22%, they're more likely to tip you 20% than the 15 or the 18. So a little bit of psychology there. When I tap on dollar tips, the one right next to it, then if it's a flat rate tip, then you can also offer them $1, $2, $3, $5. Maybe you're really expensive. Maybe it's $20, $50, but you can set it the difference between the percentages and the dollar tips right there. So I do recommend that all of these settings are on. When you're doing these navigations, the left-hand side stays the same, and you see there's a blue link up at the top that says company. So that's what takes me back to the main list of company settings. Now in here, I also have instant deposit, and this is actually a little bit of marketing on their part. This is not part of GoPayment. This is the new QuickBooks cash flow bank account system where you set up a bank account through your QuickBooks. And so one of the benefits of it is that you get a debit card. Another benefit is that you can get instant deposits. So instead of having to wait 1 to 5 days for your credit card transactions to show up, you can actually get the money next day. So that's another benefit. And another benefit of it is it gives 1% interest, which is more than I get from Bank of America. And so I do set this up myself. Okay, I'm going to tap on company again to go back here. And in the chart of accounts to show account balances and transactions, I'm going to leave that on. And I'm also going to use Google Maps for directions. I'm going to turn that on, and I don't have it on this iPad, so I'm not going to be able to demonstrate it. So I'm going to have to cancel it. But there's this really cool thing where you can tap on a customer's address and it actually opens it up in the maps. It used to do it in the Apple Maps. Now it just does it in Google Maps. But if you are driving around from customer to customer, being able to pull up the customer on your device and being able to tap their address and get the map up, that's kind of slick. So in general, I would turn this on. Okay, now going back down to the left-hand side, I was talking about mileage, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to come back to this when it's time to talk about mileage. But I do like to turn on auto tracking, and I do this on my phone, but not my iPad. And what the auto tracking does is anytime you start going more than like 10 miles an hour, it recognizes that you're moving, and then it will start recording your trips for you. So you do want this one turned on. I may wind up switching to my phone for the second half of this so that you can see those. Under manage vehicles, you can put in all the different cars that your company uses. Okay, under account, this allows you to take a look and manage your actual account with Intuit for your QuickBooks. Tax rates, if you are I'm in Oregon, we don't have local taxes, but if you're using the tax center in your QuickBooks, you will be able to see the tax rates on this list right here. And then there's an about, which tells you which version of the software you're using. Also allows you to sign out or switch companies as well. So I'm going to close the settings and then go to the dashboard.